I remember the last time I saw Mark Hamill was over at the center, and dude, he was just amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been over to the center? Have you ever performed
What's the center?
The center of your? Big Boy's Neighborhood, beautiful day in the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Good to have this man back in the neighborhood. Bert Kreischer, welcome back to the neighborhood, my brother.
It's good to be back.
Man, let me tell you, man, now, The Machine, we're going to get into the new movie, The Machine. But I got to ask you first, man, like, the training for that. Because you walked in, when did y'all shoot The Machine?
In 2021 in Serbia.
So 2021 in Serbia. And it's crazy because usually when someone goes shoot a movie like as an action hero, they'll come back and they won't look the same. How were you able to maintain the look that you have in the movie for The Machine and walking in today?
It's a great question. I ate a lot of pasta for breakfast.
Yeah, man. Like when you walked in, I was like, oh man, I was like, he held on to it.
Yeah,
because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but there's sometimes you'll see someone, you're like, oh, they were training for that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like,
well, so it's so funny. I got a trainer. did get a personal trainer to help me get ready because there's a lot of stunt work, and you want your body just to be in shape to take a bump.
Yeah.
So I got a trainer, and then the studio called, and they were talking with the stunt coordinator, and he's like, whoa. We don't want like skinny, ripped Bert for this movie. We want regular Bert. And she was like, don't worry. He drinks about 2 bottles of wine before he goes to bed every night. Yeah, you're getting the same Bert. And even when I got there, because part of me thought, there's a big opportunity. I won't drink.
Right.
I'm not going to drink. And my producer, Kale, first night goes, hang on. That's not the guy I hired. He goes, I hired party fun Bert. And he goes, listen, let me tell you, I can't tell you if this movie's going to do well, if it's going to do bad. We don't know that. What I can tell you is you may only get one opportunity at this, and this may be it. If you have fun, that'll show up on screen.
Right.
And so I just looked at it like, carpe diem. This is every day. Live it like it's your last. This is the only opportunity I'll ever get to make a movie. I literally feel that way right now. This is the only premiere I may ever go to. So I am just like, being very grateful.
Man, did you ever trip off of that The Machine became The Machine, the movie?
Yeah, I'm blown away. I can't believe any of this happened. I can't beve any of this. I can't believe I'm sitting in this room. Right. I told you that last time.
Yeah, man.
Like, any of this is happening. My wife and I were smoking weed with Snoop Dogg the other night.
Yeah, all right. Okay, so you and the wife were smoking weed with Snoop Dogg the other night?
And my wife never smokes weed. And we got in this car to go back home. And we're dressed up nice. We went to Tiffany Haddish's thing.
Yeah, man.
And my wife looks at me and goes, can you believe our life? I go, no, I can't.
Yeah, man.
We were the poor people that had kids that couldn't afford toys for Christmas at Toys R Us. Like 15 years ago. That was us. For real.
Yeah, man.
Daniel, Tosh, and I went to go gambling one time, and I said to my wife, can I get $100? She goes, we don't have it. And I said, okay, I know, but like, can you give me a card? I'll go get it. She goes, no, we don't have it. And I go, no, but I understand that, but I'm not going to lose it. So can I get $100? She goes, no, honey, we don't have $100 in our account. And Daniel Tosh goes, I'll give you $100 to stop having this conversation.
Hey, man, but the humble beginnings, man. And,
I do.
And you still, do you get a lot of the pinch myself moments?
All the time.
Yeah, man.
There's a clip I said on this woman, Rachel Hollis's podcast. I get emotional talking about it because, I didn't find success until late in life.
Right.
At 44 is when things started happening for me. Netflix special, Secret Time came out. The Machine story went viral. I started selling tickets. Before that, I was some guy on Travel Channel making, good money, but not like I didn't have a career. Like I don't think anyone looked at me enviously going like, now that's the guy, the fat guy that rides roller coasters.
Right.
And so,
but you rode them well.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? You rode them well, bro.
But I'm grateful. I have this hyper awareness that this can all go away.
Right.
This may be the very last time I get to do this.
Right.
So really enjoy it and drink it in. And I mean, when you go to an arena, I remember I did the Garden, and you see all the Celtics jerseys hanging up there, and you're crouched down waiting for your sound cue to go walk on stage and kill a beer and rip your shirt off. I get emotional every time. I can get emotional talking about it.
Hey, man.
I mean, you look at this premiere. I have a premiere this week, right, down in Brentwood. I'll get worked up because this may be the only time that both my parents are alive. my wife and I are happily married, and no one's sick in my family. We haven't lost anyone.
God.
Mark Hamill's going to be there.
Yeah,
Snoop's going to be there.
Hello.
Like, this is the one time where everything I just say my gratitudes every morning and just try not to mess up.
I heard
That's
that.
it. Yeah.
Hey man, just seeing the hard, not the hard road, the long road, and I always tell people as well. I'm like, man, never forget what that felt like.
Oh.
You know, there's times, Bert, when I was sitting here and I'm like, somebody's out there listening right now, and that's crazy. Someone want a picture. That's still crazy to me after decades of being in radio. That someone wants a picture,
Dude.
Yeah, man.
It just happened to me in the hallway, and I'm like, for real? Like, you have to, I don't know. I don't. Here's the crazy thing that I think. There's someone listening to this that is going to do bigger things than we ever did.
Yeah, man.
And they don't know it yet.
Right.
And they're sitting there going, no, not me. And then it's them. They have to remember that was us one time.
Yeah.
One time I was listening to you going like, God, I can't believe he's in studio. How cool would it be to be in that? That was me,
Yeah,
on La
man.
Cienega, driving down, seeing your billboard, and going, how cool would that be? There's someone doing that right now. That's
Yeah,
going to be
man.
bigger than us. That's crazy to
I hope
me.
they take us with them though.
I knew that's the number one key. Let me ride your coattails.
Or come back to be like, man, I was inspired when I heard Bert and Big. Like, oh, okay, well, take us with you, bro.
Dude, I do that to all the comics I take with me on these arena tours. They're like, thank you. I go, no, just remember this.
Yeah, remember this.
'cause
Who
one
took
day
you? Who took you on the arena tours?
no one was doing arenas. no one. Comedy's changed so much. I'll tell you what. I got emotional the other night. I was talking about Joe Rogan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, like, someone was doing this thing. Who's better for comedy, or who's the better comic? And I go, it's hard to say because that's subjective. What I can tell you is, Joe Rogan has done more for stand-up comedy than any one individual probably in the last 20 years.
Explain.
I would say he's top 10 ever in the history of comedy. He's been very generous, like yourself, with his platform.
Yeah,
and
man.
put over a lot of talent. Like, put all.
Gotcha.
He brought people in that I would say were funnier than him and let them have the spotlight. He didn't need to be the star. He wanted you to be as funny as you could be. I'd go on his show and he'd be like, tell me about the time you got involved with the Russian mafia. Tell me about this story.
Right.
Tell me about this story. And he'd let me shine. And then you could text him. I swear to God, you could text him and go, hey, Joe, I'm having a hard time with sales in Portland. Will you tweet this for me? And he did it. When my movie premiere, he let me leak the trailer on his show and then posted the trailer to his 22 million fans. He doesn't have an ego about comedy. And so him doing that, I mean, you think about it, his friends, right? They're all in arenas.
Right.
Anyone who's done his show, they're all doing theaters, and he gave them that platform. He gifted it to them. And that never happened in comedy.
Wow.
Comedy was so selfish. When I started, it was like, how do I get over? How do I become famous?
Right.
How do I become successful?
Right.
Joe just was like, you're funny, man.
You know what I love about Joe Rogan as well? Joe Rogan know when to be a comedian.
Yeah.
You know, because I'll watch Joe Rogan on like UFC, and he's not punny and he's not punchline. And have you noticed that, Lou?
that's so
where
true.
it's not like, okay,
not
bro,
comical.
stop with the jokes.
Yeah.
Like when he gets there, it's a whole different world.
Yeah.
And he know how to separate the two.
I could argue. I could
Oh,
argue.
my
the opposite. You can get a phone call from who you think is funny Joe Rogan and get serious Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, really?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm on the 405 the other day, and I see Rogan text us. I go, oh, cool. What's up, Joe? And he's like, you need to get off statins. And I was like, what? He was like, what's your cardiologist got you on? We need to talk about this. Statins are all horse crap. You know they're statins, right?
Hey,
You're still
man.
drinking milk?
Yeah, and that's another thing, bro. He walked in and he was like, I drink milk. I said, save it for the air.
Oh, man.
Bert, you drink milk. Really?
Oh, I love it so much.
Has that always been? So you have milk at the house right now, a gallon of milk?
Vitamin D milk.
I heard that.
Vitamin D milk, it tastes like cream. Oh my God. It's so good. It's so good. So my dad texted me a thing. He goes like the top 10 most hydrating things. And the number one was milk. Number two is Diet Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
So you killing the game.
Water was in there.
Right.
But it wasn't like the front runner.
Now,
Well, I mean that's understandable because people do give babies milk and you babies at that time aren't
Man,
drinking
that's
water.
fake
and
ass
that
cow
hydrates
shit
them.
that they giving these
Dude,
babies.
I'll tell you,
man.
I'll take it even further. And now this is why you go, Bert, you should not talk about this. You don't know what you're talking about.
All righty.
I think it's why all these white kids got allergies that are in their 50s.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's because
there was the Catholic Church. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Right.
The Catholic Church thought it was a sin to breastfeed. So my mom didn't breastfeed. I got Similac. I got
right.
And so like
the formula.
Yeah, so that was like what rich people did. And then all the poor people breastfed, and none of them got allergies. And all these white kids got allergies. And then all the new age, like when we had kids, were like, yo, let's go back to breastfeeding. Neither of my daughters have allergies.
Wow.
I can't be around a cat. I can't be within 20. And my daughters can pet cats, sleep with them. They're totally fine.
Hey man, bring Cassius in here right now. Let me see. bring Cassius in, and just throw Cassius in.
Do you
his
have
lap.
allergies?
No, I don't.
Were you breastfed?
I would gather so. I still breastfeed now. You know what I'm saying?
I did last night.
Yeah. Lord knows I try my best. Nothing coming out of there, but the action is still the same.
Wait, do you remember? Never mind. Did you ever have sex when your wife was breastfeeding?
Oh man, and taste it? Oh yeah.
No, we're gonna talk about good milk.
I think
That's like melted ice
hey,
cream.
dude, Matt never tasted your breast milk, and I'm not talking about like on top of your
couldn't
anything.
produce.
Oh,
So I didn't get that experience.
Yeah, and I don't remember like if I was in the dugout or anything, but I remember tasting. Yeah. Have you tasted yet, Lou?
No.
Really though? Man, you should when you laying down with your girl, climb up on her. and you know what I'm saying? And try to see if you could do so. Try to see if you could do so, bro. That would be great.
I love that's real talk right there.
Yeah.
No one's talking about that out loud.
Hey man, and I know it. I've been there. Even the
I'm
curiosity.
sweating.
You did it. Yeah, the curiosity. Like, baby,
I love that you go, oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, baby, let me just taste this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And it ain't while you, but I'm like, oh, let me taste it. Yeah, curiosity. I got a lot of dead cats. I've had a lot of curiosity, man. I got a lot of dead cats in my past. You know what I'm saying? Believe that, man.
Wow.
Hey, man, I do want to ask you, man. Wow.
I thought I was walking into bad territory on that.
No. Let me tell
I
you.
thought I was gonna be the only one.
Hey, man, I love how he was like, nah, wait, I'm not going to be a weird one in
I
here.
feel like when we were in high school and we all like we're at a table and someone's like, "Hey, do you guys ever, the thing no one talks about?"
Right. Yeah, but no.
I was like, no, that means you're gay.
No.
I thought that meant. I thought that.
Nah, I think we get older and we like, F it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And Lord knows I've tried it.
I'm sweating.
As you should,
so
yeah.
bad right now.
And you know, they have a sweat tax in here, so if you keep sweating, you're gonna have to pay for breakfast. Believe that. Hey, man, I remember at one point we were talking and you were saying that you were on HGH testosterone,
Still
or
on it.
you stay.
I'm still on it. I love it.
So-
When I met you, it was the first day I ever did it.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's true.
So how's that coming along?
It's awesome.
So are you on testosterone shots or what?
I do shots in the butt.
Right.
Every 2 days.
Damn. Have you noticed a difference?
Huge difference.
Really?
Yeah. Well, number one is downstairs is awake like it was when you were in grade school.
Oh, really?
So
though?
do you remember in high school when you just get erections for no reason at all?
Yeah, man.
Like no reason at all?
I wasted a lot of them.
And they're back.
Really?
They're back.
Damn.
They're back. I woke up on an airplane in a pair of sweatpants like it was Porky's.
Really?
It was. And I was like, whoa. And the flight attendant was like, can I get you a blanket, sir? And I was like, dude, it is like crazy. And me and my wife are at the height we've ever been in our entire life. We're talking the other day, I swear to God, she's 52, I'm 50, 3 times.
In 1 year?
In one day.
Yeah. I thought everybody does that. Yeah. That's no big feat. This guy. Yeah. Man. Yeah. So hell, I'm probably got to go talk to your doctor.
I'm telling you, I wake up. Here's the other thing is like I wake up like juiced and jazzed, like really attracted to my wife.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I like wake up like, I mean, she just came in the bed the other day to like talk about something and we ended up making out.
I heard that.
Out. And I was like, I haven't made out. That is crazy. But yeah, it's been absolutely. And my workouts are better. I'm sleeping better. Like when I do get an opportunity to sleep, my sleep score is a 97%.
Really? You said when you do get an opportunity to sleep.
I'm not sleeping much because I'm
man.
working like crazy. But when I get an opportunity to sleep, I'm getting the recovery. I feel great. I'm awesome in the gym, and
What do you do to slow down? Because you always seem like you're working. Do you vacation or do you?
Oh, no. No. I mean, if we go on a vacation, I'm still working. I'm like trying to.
It's a place you want to go to do a show?
Yeah, I'll always do a show if we go there because I'm going to write it off.
Right.
We go to London, we're going to do a show at the O2 Arena. Like, I'm not going to.
Hello, Dubai.
Yeah. We went to Hawaii one time, and I was like, "Yo, hit up the Blue Note, see if we can do it. I can do a show there." And they're like, "Well, you can do like 4." I go, "Great." And then my wife's like, "Well, wait, hold on. When are our days off?" I go, "I can do stuff during the day. You guys are all going to bed anyway. I'm just going to go do a spot." So yeah, I work all the time.
Damn.
But I don't understand. Like, here's the thing. So like, someone the other day told me like, "Yo, you need to slow down." And I was like, yeah, but no one says that to the person that has a real job. Like, no one's like, guy builds fences, and he's like, yo, man, you need to take some time for yourself.
Come on, man.
You know, and he's like, yeah, well, if I don't build the fence, I get fired. And they're like, no, but this is your time. Really enjoy yourself.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
And so, like, people
Like,
say
sorry,
that.
the steak wasn't out there. The chef left. He had to take some time.
Yeah. No one's like, hey, man, you're building houses too much. You need to really, like, everyone else just hustles. I don't consider it
Like,
work.
they don't need that toilet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Take some
Can
time
you imagine?
for you.
Can you imagine going in your remodel and you're like, yo, what's going on in here? And he's like, I'm taking time for myself. My therapist said that
I need some me time.
I need some me time.
I need some me time. You know what I'm saying? And that toilet is making me shit. you
Yeah,
know?
I bust my ass. I remember I had a therapist who said I needed a hobby, and I was like collecting rocks and stuff. Like, I'm a grown up. What do you mean a hobby? And they're like, I write jokes. And they're like, what? No, that's your work. I go, I edit videos. And they go, that's also your work. I do podcasts. And they're like, no, that's all work. I go, well, I don't like. So I took up leather making.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I went to this craft store.
Like making belts in the the little all right.
I was like, I'll make a fanny pack. Like a nice leather fanny
to
pack.
put my money in from working.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Halfway through the fanny pack, I'm like, I bet I could sell these at shows.
See, there it is.
And my brain goes, stop with the fanny pack. Let's make wallets, tight wallets, like just like the card holder wallets. Sell them at shows. And I'm doing the math, and I'm like, oh, I could really turn it, especially if I brand them with like a B case, you know. And then all of a sudden, it's not. I turn everything into work.
Yeah, now it's not a hobby anymore.
I turn everything into work. I can't.
My man was like, man, walks in the park. And I could charge people to walk in the park with me. And then, So
we were at Tiffany Haddish's event.
Hold on for a second. Yeah. Which I didn't get invited to. Thank you, Tiffany. Now I'm putting you on the Rock Nation brunch as well. All righty, there it is.
I thought you were going to be there for real.
Man, I didn't know it was going down until I saw the picture of you with your shirt off.
So Tiffany's trying to raise $50,000 for foster kids.
Mm-hmm.
Each kid gets $1,000. It's really brilliant, really great, because she was saying that as a foster child herself, she'd have to walk around with plastic bags with all her stuff in it.
Yeah.
And she just didn't make her feel good. But once she got a suitcase, she felt like she had her first home. So she's trying to get them a suitcase with some stuff in it. Each one was $1,000. She wanted to raise $50,000, and it was taking forever.
Really?
It was people there was no incentive.
Just in there for the party.
Like people were like, nah, whatever. And so Joe Coy's like, let's just cut this. And he just goes up, grabs a mic, and he's like, hey, I can make this happen real fast. I got $25,000 and Bert's got $25,000. And I'm like, oh my God.
Did you know Joe Coy was going to get up and go do that?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
And so then, but that's how it works. You can't just go, oh no, I'm good.
Right, yeah. No, fuck the kids.
Yeah, no, I wasn't a foster kid. I'm white privilege over here.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I'm all right, Joe. No. Those are jokes. So
Tiffany's rich. She was a foster kid.
So
I go up, I rip my shirt off, I grab the mic, I go, my movie, The Machine, is in theaters Memorial Day weekend. Get your tickets at themachine.movie. You know I have $25,000 for those kids. Boom, place erupts. I go, I know Jimmy Kimmel has got $25,000. He stands up. He goes, we start calling out. We're like, let's guilt more white people into giving money. We raised $125,000 for those kids, right? So I get done. It's beautiful. Everyone's coming up. I mean, like, I think the mayor came up to me. Like, everyone came up. They're like, that was so sweet of you guys. That was amazing. And I go to my wife, and I'm like, great. Did you get it? She goes, get what? I go, on your phone. She goes, what do you mean?
She didn't get the moment.
I go, what? You're going to record it. I promoted my movie and gave $25,000 and then called Jimmy Kimmel, who raised $125,000 for foster kids. This is a moment. This is a viral moment we put online. You didn't shoot it? And she goes, I was just enjoying it. I go, baby, we're working here. We're working.
We're always
working. When I rip the shirt off, that means the camera's on. What are you doing?
Oh, my God.
Where was your phone? And she goes, just in my hand. I was having so much fun.
Like, I was in the moment.
Oh.
Hey, man, no one captured that?
No one.
Oh.
No, I mean, look, here's the deal. Is like, you shouldn't do it for it to be captured, but it would have been nice.
Yeah, man.
I guarantee you they're going to capture me the one time I'm
heard...
standing outside of McDonald's going, do you know who I am?
Hey, man, she never heard the phrase, to have and not need, the need and not have?
My wife.
Yeah. Record. I'm going to send Ani with you to some of these things as well. Yeah, Ani will invade your privacy like nobody's business, you know?
She was just, I mean.
You got to love that, though.
Yeah, well, she's a real person. Like, she's a very real person. Which is, I guess, good.
Right, yeah. You got to look at it that way.
Yeah. But we had a lot of fun, and then we got hammered, and then...
no, not you.
And then we got high with Snoop.
Right, I heard that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did Snoop get up and give $25,000?
Snoop, I think he gave a lot more.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. I will tell you this. It was one of the best damn shows I've ever seen. Snoop, first of all, Paris Hilton DJ'd, he was a pretty good DJ, like legit. Snoop goes up and does a 45-minute freestyle set where he's singing his songs, a little bit of other songs.
Wow.
He delivered. And my brain, I'm like, I know Snoop. I go, babe, if I get on that stage, I need the camera on. And then she goes, hey, stop. Live in the moment. Me and you are watching Snoop perform. Forget that you know him. Forget any of that. This is a moment. This is a private show, and he is killing it. And I was like, okay.
Is this after she failed to record you?
This is after, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you know what she was doing. She was like, she used the same moment.
Yeah.
This is like, baby, just please. You know, I didn't get that. Let's not get this. We're fine.
So then we go backstage. I know Snoops.
Mm-hmm.
I know Snoops.
Nicknames, huh?
I know Snoops.
That's how long y'all known each other?
Hey, Poops.
Yeah.
I know Snoop's bodyguard. So I was like, yo, Papa, it's Bert. He's like, oh, come on back. So we go back, and we're hanging with Snoop, and it's beautiful. It's like, this is real. It's like, I know him. I've worked with him, and we're talking. When Georgia, my oldest, I tell you about when Georgia got caught smoking pot?
Mm-mm.
I was with Snoop.
Oh, Lord.
And so Leanne texts me, Georgia's smoking pot. And we're talking about this backstage. And I'm like, man. And Snoop's like, what's the matter? I said, my oldest smoked weed. And he was like, ugh. He goes, how old? I said, 15. He goes, okay. How old were you? And I said, what? And he goes, when you first smoked pot? I said, 14. He goes, can I give you some advice from one dad to another dad? And I'm like, oh, yeah, you forget he's a dad, right? And I was like, yeah, please. And he goes, don't be such a bitch.
Yeah.
He goes, you did it.
Okay.
You did it younger than she did.
Right.
He goes, it's not pills, it's not powder. She's a kid. She's growing up. You got to let her grow up. You can't just hover over her. You got to let her be. And I was like, yeah. So we're telling that story backstage. We're all hanging out, right? I'm like, hey, if you want to come to the premiere, know that I got you covered. I would love you to be there. And he goes, I'm coming to the premiere. I go, great. I'll see you there. Give him a hug. Leanne pulls her phone out. Can we get a picture? I go, now's not the time.
Right. We just had a moment.
What's wrong with you? We're having a moment.
Yeah.
Now's not when can I get a picture? I want to put this on. What's your Instagram handle? But it's a real, here's the thing that because we get in the car, we have this real moment. And I go, and then you pull your phone out. She goes, I can't help it. I'm a real person, okay? Like, I don't think to film cool things that are happening, but if I'm hanging out with Snoop, I'm going to ask for a picture.
Right.
And I was like, oh, yeah, because sometimes you can get jaded in your head and go, like, I want to be cool as opposed to be real, you know?
Right.
So,
but I love how she wants the picture of Snoop. Like, man, that's Snoop.
Yeah.
When you're Bert. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the same moment that somebody else would have. And they're like, baby, capture this. But I mean, living in the moment, I can totally understand that too.
Yeah.
You know, do you still look at comedians? Like, do you watch other comedians?
I do, of course. Yeah. Well, I think you have to. 'Cause
Right.
if you're not, Like, especially at the clubs, like if I go to the club and someone young is on, I'll sit back and watch them. Or like Tim Dillon was on the other night, I watched him. I watch like big specials. Like I watch everything Chappelle does. I watch Mulaney's special. I watch Ali Wong's special. I watch Jim Jeffries. I'll watch them all.
Do you watch to enjoy, or do you watch different, like continuity? Like my wife said, I messed up a lot of things for her because the way I watch things. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, the continuity was off. Oh, I could tell that was from the second night or the first. You know, oh, that didn't lay over well. I know why they cut to the audience. Like, do you watch like that, or can you just enjoy it?
No. So I can enjoy it, but I'm very critical. I have rules of a comedy special. Like I need when you start talking, I need a joke really quick.
Right.
It makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. So when I watch a special, I watch what they're doing, what I like about it. If it's too I watch exactly from the second it starts. I start a timer on my phone.
Oh wow.
Because it's like, you know, a lot of comics forget. And I know, by the way, and all these are rules that I have. You have your own rules. Everyone can, and you can break any rule. People break rules all the time. I think it's brilliant. But like, I mean, Chappelle, he did one where he was singing Prince or singing When Doves Cry at the beginning. Like he was just saying the words, and I was like, dude, you got me. Like that's brilliant. Like I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I go, as a viewer, I'm engaged, I'm drawn in, I'm ready. You got me. Like we're connected.
Gotcha.
And so sometimes you'll see comics like that just talk about the city they're in. Like, this is crazy. Cleveland. I love Cleveland. I grew up in Cleveland. My grandmother still lives in Cleveland.
Right.
Who doesn't love the hot dogs in Cleveland? I'm sitting in L.A. going, I don't live in Cleveland.
Right.
Like, can you get
I don't know your grandma.
And I don't know your grandma.
Yeah.
Like, and so I have rules. So I have a hard time. A good special will, in my book, follows the rules, and they get me immediately, and I'm like, I'm in.
When should the joke or something land?
Very first words. The very first words out of your mouth, your intention should be to make people laugh. You can say thank you and stuff like that, but when you speak in this is how I behave. When you speak into that mic, you should have your words should be funny. There should you can say like little things like thank you, thank you, thank you. I get hung up on needing to know where people are. I don't need to know what city you're filming it in. I don't care what city you're filming it in. But thank you, thank you, thank you. Some guy on Razzle Dazzle goes, "You're beautiful," and I said, "Oh, thank you. This is the skinniest fat I've ever been," and it got a big laugh. And then I went, "Okay." And so I was just a moment. I didn't say that in the other shows. In the other shows, my opening line was, "I'm so fat when I jog, my ass hair's tying a knot," and that was, but my very first words out of my mouth. But in this one, we had that interaction. I had another joke. I had another joke to open with. I went for a jog today, and I saw a homeless woman scratching off a lottery ticket, and I thought, what a waste of time. And I wondered if she was looking at me thinking, what a waste of time. I can tell you the opening jokes on all my specials. On Secret Time, it was, we're just getting drunk and telling secrets. Secret Time, when I get out of the shower, I dry my ass on the bed. Like Secret
really?
Time. Oh, yeah, I do.
Oh.
Secret Time, when I wipe my ass, I spit on the toilet paper. It's called a Mississippi wet wipe. Yeah. Secret Time, Secret Time, Secret Time, Secret Time,
Oh,
Secret Time. I love telling secrets. And then,
Hey man, Secret Time, I wipe and look.
oh, everyone does.
Yeah, you have to.
Everyone does.
Okay.
You wipe and look to make sure that nothing else is on there. That's
Yeah.
how you have a clean bubble.
Okay,
But
well,
then the real
that's
question,
very attractive. Thank you.
question is,
It's true.
But do you eat it?
No.
wait, hang on.
Secret Time.
Have you ever been in the bathrooms where you're in there taking a dump and then the lights cut out and you're in here going like this, waving your arms, going, I can't wipe, I can't wipe.
Yes,
And then you're holding your cell phone light up to toilet paper.
Hey man, I've been in there wearing cutoff. You're like, all right, throw your hands in the air and wave like a.
So me and Tom Segura are at the Brea Improv probably 10 years ago. And I go into the bathroom to take a dump and the lights cut out. And I'm trying to wipe my ass and I can't, this is before cell phones.
Right.
I mean, cell phones are there, but no one had iPhones the way we have them. So I can't turn a.
Like there's no lights in there.
This is probably 12, 13 years ago. So I'm in there and I'm like, this is impossible. And then I think, how does a blind person know when they're done wiping their ass, right? So I get off stage, and I go, and Tom's getting off stage, and he goes, "Hey, heads up, guy in the second row says he's blind, but he's not blind." And I went, "What?" And he goes, "I think they're messing with us. He's not blind." I go, "For real?" And he goes, I test him. So I get on stage, and we start looking, and it is kind of odd. The guy's like completely looking off the other direction. And I'm like, and he's got sunglasses on, and his friends are all like hitting him and laughing, and he's like, it's weird. So I said, what's going on? And he was like, I'm blind. And I go, okay. I go, how hard is it to clear a room before you jack off? And he goes, what? I said, like, you know, like you have roommates? Like, it's going to be tough. Like, you walk in, you're like, is anybody in here? Like, and oh, yeah, all the time, shh, 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 shh. And he goes, I wouldn't know, man. And I go, what do you mean you wouldn't know? And then I think of that experience I just had in the bathroom. I go, how do you know when you're done wiping your ass? And he goes, I don't know, man. And I go, you're not blind.
Right.
You're not blind. Because if you were blind, you'd know how that was done.
Yeah, you had these answers.
And he goes, I don't know, man. And I go, okay. And he goes, you know what? I'm done. And I go, oh, get up. I go, get up and take a swing at me. Like, because, yeah. And so, but is this back when you could talk crazy on stage?
Oh, yeah.
And he gets up and he starts to leave. And it is very clear to me he is blind.
And then he went,
He is knocking over tables and chairs and walking in the wrong direction. But his friends are dying laughing. And he walks and someone grabs him and he takes him out. And I'm looking at Tom and Tom's like, in the back, he's like, he's definitely blind.
Yeah. sorry about that,
He's
Bert.
definitely blind. I'm sorry, Bert. Yeah. And I said I go, hold on. I look at his friends. His friends are still there. I go, hang on. Is he really blind? They're like, oh, he's blind. I go, but wait, how does he not know the answers to those? And they go, he just got blind on Sunday. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, are you serious? And they're like, we brought him out here to cheer him up. And I'm like,
don't believe that,
God.
Bert. Nah, that can't be.
I don't know what it was, but man, it was the most. Thank God they didn't have cell phones back then to film that.
Man, but look at you telling on yourself, you fucking snitch.
Dude, there were times at comedy clubs that the craziest stuff would happen, and this is when like you'd say wild stuff.
Yeah, man.
And it was fun, man. It was fun. It was crazy, and you learn from those, and then all those moments accumulate to you being a better comic. I feel bad for the comics now because that's why you go to Rogan's Club, they take everyone's cell phones.
Yeah, man.
Because you can't tell. Look, a joke may start like I have a bunch of jokes right now that they're ideas that I know are funny. But I got to try them, and I got to try them in aggressive fashion sometimes to get them to the place where they work.
Right, the workout.
And if someone films me just saying half of it, like with my wife and I, this is what I just think is so funny, and I know it's horrible. It's a horrible thought. But I go, when my wife and I have the same relationship, because we have a great relationship, but we have that same relationship if we lived in the 1700s when men could hit women. Probably not.
Right.
Because I respect her opinion, but I never would have heard it. If I, okay, don't hold your laughter in. You know what I'm talking about. So but you take that seed,
right,
and then you got to mess around with it.
Yeah.
And then that one horrible thought will turn into a very funny joke, but you got to mess with it. And so people can't once you shut that down, it's like you can't have a thought. Like they're just thoughts. So yeah.
Hey, what was the last comedian you paid to see? Oh. What about leaving the house to go see a comedian? Like, I'm going.
Dave Attell.
And you got up and you made sure, like, I'm going tonight.
We're going to see Dave Attell, Zach Galifianakis. I took my wife to go see Zach.
Hey, man, is it different when you look in the audience now and you do see famous people? Like, and it's probably a little different, depends on where you're performing at.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little stressful.
Yeah.
Because I wish there was no one here. It's like when your parents are there to watch you perform. Like, I wish there was no one here. Because, like, it happened a lot. It's happening a lot lately. Like, we were in New Zealand and Stylebender showed up. Is the middleweight champion of the world. He showed up. And he, like, a lot of times if they're really famous, they come in to the green room before the show and say hi. And then they go out. Because it's their way to get them in and out. And so we go sit him down. And my whole time, I'm like, I hope I do well. Like I really like him. Like I hope he likes me. I hope what I'm saying is funny. And so then the next day, the whole live golf event, all the pro golfers showed up to my show, and I'm like, God, am I pro golfer funny? Right. Like I don't know.
All in your head.
Yeah, and it
they're
happens
so used
a lot.
to silence too.
We did the worst one was in Tampa because they were like clearing holds, and they're like, yo. Mike Allstott wants to come in. Wade Bogg wants to come in. They start doing all the famous people, and you're like, just don't tell me. Just give them. See, my dad's like, buddy, I was nervous for you. I'm sitting next to Wade Boggs. And I'm like, I don't know if my son's that funny.
Does your wife go to your shows still?
Nah, she will every now and then. but not really. We're doing this big festival in the summer called Fully Loaded, and it's like, I mean, it starts in Forest Hills, it ends in the Gorge, it's in Vegas, it's everywhere. It's like 15, 16 comics. We whittle them down, we take them out on tour buses. We have like 5 tour buses, and my wife and daughters are working on that.
Really?
Yeah, they're working on it. So
the daughter that wouldn't take the $100,000 for you to do the joke?
She's on it.
Hey, man, when we put that out, when you did that interview with us, do you know how many people that said, man, he could tell everything about me for $100,000?
I went to therapy with her the other day.
Really?
She was like, "Hey, do you want to come to my therapy?" My wife put us all in therapy. I was like, "Hell yeah!"
Is your wife in therapy?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's
Just
married to
checking.
me.
All right.
Yeah.
Just checking.
And we went to her therapy, and we had a blast. I don't know if you're supposed to high five in therapy, but like,
What y'all did.
oh, we did. We walked out, chest bumped, and we're like, "That was awesome. Want to go get Starbucks?"
Right. And how old is your daughter?
16.
I heard that.
Yeah,
man.
16, and she's like super. Like, I was really proud of her because like she was like, "You want to come to therapy?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Wait," and then I said to her, "I'd love to meet your therapist," and she goes, "Oh, she would love to meet you." I went, "Wait, do you talk about me in therapy?" She goes,
Yeah.
"Of
Oh,
course."
yeah.
I go, "I'm paying for
Right.
this."
Like, she like, you're the reason, Dad.
Yeah, I'm paying for this. You just the best is the therapist goes, maybe I shouldn't talk about this. What am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Hey, man.
What am I doing? This is what's wrong with me.
Hey, dude, you owe her $100,000 now if you keep on talking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, when you first go out and you tear the shirt off, do you have shirts that you know, like, I can tear this off because I know how much this shirt costs? Or do you have tearaway shirts? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I know you're not going out there and it's like a Versace shirt
No.
and you tear that off.
No. So normally I travel with one type of shirt. It's a really good shirt, easy shirt to get off.
Right.
It's called James Purse. It's a
Right.
great cotton. I love that shirt. It's my favorite. It's my favorite is the shirt coming off over the head. That's my favorite, and then throwing it in the air. That's my favorite. I love that. I have stage shirts that are buttons that are they're like costume buttons that look fancy that are buttoned loosely, and I rip those. I love ripping buttons off a shirt. Like if it's a real shirt, I love when you just go, "This is a good shirt, but you know what? It's had its day. I'm going to take it on stage and rip it." And just, whoom. I tried ripping a shirt like Hulk Hogan, and I got tied up. I got so stuck in that shirt. I was like,
Cut. We'll lose tomorrow night show. We'll use tomorrow night.
No, I love like a shirt like this. Like I take them off a certain way too. Here, I'll show you.
Okay.
Because a lot of people, like when they take
Get this, honey? No.
I take them off a certain way. Like when I take a shirt off, it's this.
Yeah.
And then it comes out.
Yes. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Man.
I love it's a good fit. It's a good vibe.
Hey,
it's
man.
like,
Do you like having your shirt off?
I love it.
Yeah, man.
I love it so much. I feel so much more comfortable like this. That shirt, as it was on, I could feel myself sweating, and I can feel it clinging to me, and I feel like it makes my breasts look more like
succulent.
Yeah. And then when you see them like this, because now you can see that I scissored out my chest hair.
Yeah, man.
So I take liners and I line up my chest hair,
Oh,
so it looks
the
like
art of it.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
Dude,
man.
I do the same thing downstairs too.
Really? Well, let's keep it here.
I cut back an inch.
I heard that.
I cut back an inch. Yeah.
So you got more now.
So let's say
This is you.
This is what we have, okay?
Okay.
Let's say this is what we have.
Right.
What I do is I take clippers and I cut back here so you'll see skin so it looks like there's an extra inch. Yeah. I trim back
Hey,
into
man.
the hedges to
Right.
show you more sidewalk.
Hey, man. Thank you for that.
Hey, well, I don't think you need it.
I don't. Yeah. But you know what, man? I can understand the journey.
Dude, I took one. So when I was single, I was like, I had trimmed down there, just trimmed it to like, just a nice like 4 or 3, just nice. And
You talking about like the guard size, the clipper guard size?
and it just looked odd. It
Right.
looked like it should draw attention to the wrong area. And then I was like, wait, what if I give it a little razzle dazzle? So what I did is I took a magic marker. This is when I was skinny and I could see everything down there.
Yeah, I heard that.
I then drew a sunrise of like sun rays going up, like a little sun with rays going up. And then I took clippers and I shaved everywhere that the magic marker wasn't. And then I went into the shower and I washed off. And then I looked at it and I went, that is beautiful.
Really?
It was a
That's
sunrise.
art.
It was a sunrise.
Did you have somebody to show that to?
One person.
Yeah, all right.
One person. It was the only one night stand I've ever had in my entire life.
Oh.
Yeah. And I walked in like the proudest boy in the entire town, and I opened my pants and I just went, huh? And she went, what is that? And I was like, you like it, huh? And she was like, wait, who did that? And I said, I did. And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, that's, huh? Like it was such a conversation piece.
Right. And you said that was the only one night stand, and she got
One night
that?
stand, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy that
I haven't
she
been
got
with
that.
a lot of people. Women. Why am I saying people?
Oh,
Women.
I don't know. You want to tell us anything else?
I wish I mean, the kids these days are so gender fluid. I wish we had that when I was growing. Maybe I don't know.
Right.
I was just one way.
Right.
I didn't know you could do other things. I thought the menu was. I thought sexuality was like in and out. You want a double? Okay, we don't serve chicken.
Right.
And now these kids are going to what's the other one that's like in and out, but they serve everything? It's out in Bakersfield.
I don't know. Already the
my
machine,
daughter-
ladies
yeah.
and gentlemen. The machine. Definitely go see that. Hey, man, and you are a person, we had a conversation where you enjoy hip-hop.
I love hip hop.
You love hip-hop, man. I want to do something with you that I do with a lot of people, and it's called the raft.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you about 2 people that we're going to put on the raft.
Okay.
And you're on a raft. You're in the middle of the ocean. You look in the ocean. You see 2 people floating. You can only pull up one. All righty? You see Snoop Dogg.
Oh God.
And you see Will Smith. Who do you pull up and who do you let drown?
Okay. Because I'm imagining what they're saying to me.
All right.
Nope.
Because. You know.
Snoop's got his hand. You can see his crip walking underwater, treading water like that. Treading water.
Yo, Bert. Yeah.
I can see Will leaning into the fact that like he gave me my first opportunity, but then between the two, I'm bringing Snoop on.
You bringing Snoop
I'm bringing
up.
Snoop on.
Man,
'Cause
forget
he's
the
like- he's
person
like
that
a-
gave you the opportunity.
I just Will was like really instrumental in so many things in my career, and I love the guy for that.
Right.
But I just don't know him like that.
Gotcha.
And I have intimacy issues. So like I've only had one I stand. I'm not gonna get to know Will again.
Right. Yeah.
Get to know. Hey, so how has everything been since the slap? Is it okay?
Right.
Oh, it's
Talk
hot.
to
Okay,
me.
this is gonna be a
Okay.
weird raft ride.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather just have Snoop and be like, let's wait till your weed dries out and get high, because it's in his pockets.
All righty, you on a raft.
Okay.
All righty, you on a raft. You see your good friend Tom Segura
Okay.
and Joe Rogan.
Oh man.
Who do you pull up? Do you pull up Tom, who's been there with you?
Oh man.
Man, has he been there with you, bro? And probably got some secrets too.
Yeah.
Or Joe Rogan, your partner.
Now, I think Joe would be more useful on a raft.
Right. Yeah.
Tom's like, where's the Rolex store?
Right. Okay, I got you.
My Versace shirt is ruined. I'm pulling up Rogan.
Oh, man.
I gotta let Segura drown. And I'm gonna sit with Rogan and watch him drown. We're just gonna be pushing 10 feet away from him the whole time. No, just let him drown. It's happening quick.
At least you can go on a great podcast and pay homage to him.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm
true.
saying? You
I
can do
gotta
the
let-
Rest in Peace show with Joe Rogan.
Joe's gonna get us fish.
Yeah.
He's gonna figure things out.
Yeah, man.
He's resourceful.
Yes.
And by the way,
Muscle Bound, he's been on. What was the show beforehand?
Fear Factor. He
So-
can do anything.
Yeah, man.
As opposed to Rogan, who only knows how to buy Rolexes
Well,
and
that's Tom
Versace.
Segura that can only buy.
Or
Yeah.
Segura.
Yeah, Segura.
Yeah, Segura's
Yeah.
useless.
All right.
He's totally useless. Keep
Damn,
going.
you think you're freestyling now, huh?
What?
Yeah, you call him useless and everything. This is your buddy, right? All right. Hey, man, is there comedy beefs?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. There's beefs, but here's the weird thing about comedy beefs is that we're kind of like brothers and sisters. So even when you have a beef with someone, you know it goes away. Like Bobby Kelly is a good friend of mine. Bobby Kelly's amazing, but Bobby and I have had like fallouts and issues, and almost got into a fight one time, and then you wait a little while, you see him, and you're like, dude, I miss you. I'm sorry that happened. You know. But yeah, there's been comedy. I've been in big comedy beefs. I was in a big comedy beef with a guy, an alternative comic. I won't say his name because it's not fair. But an alternative comic.
It's not fair because you're bigger than him.
Well, that, and it's like
you're just.
I'm the one that gets to talk today, so like it's not fair to him.
Right.
And I wouldn't want
because we wouldn't want him on the show.
No. You wouldn't want him on the show. No.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
But he's
you don't want to say anything because you don't want to bring shine to his little name.
I know not
because your name is so huge. Right. Like, why would you even bring him up? That's like the moon howling at the dog, right? You know what I'm saying? So this loser, what happened with you?
No. We got into a beef when I was really young, and it just was ongoing. It was like every time we saw each other, it was just never going away. And then one day, he just texted or emailed me, and he said, it was really like a grown-up thing to do. He said, I understand we're not friends. We probably will never be friends, but I want you to know that I understand now we may have different recollections of how this whole thing went down. And so I'm conceding that you may be more right than I think, but please concede that I may be more right than you think. And I was like, that is really grown up. I was like, can you text with my wife and tell her how to fight? And now I see him and I get excited. I go, it's good to have that behind you.
And where do you see him at? Like at the restaurant that he work at, or
no,
what?
I saw him online. He was doing
an
stuff
online
Instagram.
Comedy show.
No, he was
selling real estate online.
No, you're not. No.
What is he doing? Doing a protein tea? What is he doing online? What is he doing? Magic tricks?
Selling tickets for a podcast.
Right. Yeah, for somebody else.
No,
and he's getting a cut. Wow, this is crazy, man. Yeah, I'm glad you opened us up to that. You know what I'm saying? Man, do you want to say his name?
Nope.
You want to write it down and I'll say it?
Nope.
You want to give me the initials? Do we know the guy? Have we ever heard of the guy? No one knows him, right? That's what you're saying. You saying no? Right? He is kind of famous, but not as famous as you. So not as famous as you, alternative comedian. All right. Man. Oh, man. If you're not racist, you'll say his name. No, The Machine available for you, man. Make sure y'all go check that out as well, man. And you gotta be more than proud of that work. And it's crazy because people don't know how hard something is until they start to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you realize that with The Machine?
The first thing I did was not talk trash about other movies. Because I remember being like, there was a movie that someone did with Lady Gaga was in or something, and I was doing a podcast, and I just done my movie, and I watched someone trash that movie, and I was like, House of Versace. And they trashed the movie, and I went, ooh, I wouldn't do that because you've never made a movie. You don't know how hard it is to make a movie. All the stuff that goes in, all the people who give a year, 2 years of their life to make a movie. I was like, I'm not trashing any movie. And then I started seeing the beauty in stuff that people would trash. Like people sometimes make light of the Fast and Furious franchise.
Right.
It is genius. It is genius. They're on Fast and Furious 10.
Yeah, man.
10. And they're all loving each other, and they're having a good time, and they love to get to work together. It's like camp for them. Once every 2 years, they go to camp.
Yeah.
And I started really seeing the bright side of movie making and just how hard it is and how fun it is.
A different respect for it.
And I stopped trashing movies. I stopped trashing celebrities, too, because I do that for fun. For fun. It's just, you don't know what you're saying. I mean, I know you've probably done it, too, where a name comes up. And then everyone just piles on, and it's fun to make fun of that guy. No, we don't
do
that
here.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Keep that on yourself. Yeah. This guy, man.
And so I
thought you had an ally. This guy, not me. No, that's not. Have we ever did that? No, not at all, bro. Yeah, you're on your own with that. But you do get a different respect, even when you say, man, like you had a stunt double, you had to there's a work to that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's so many people that
How were you on your lines?
I was really good.
Yes.
Well, I have a bad time memorizing. Or at least I did my whole life. And then when I got on the set, I'd get my lines, and I couldn't memorize them to say it like this in this circle. But the second our director would go, so stay here, say that, and then kind of make your way over there. And then once you get there, I need you to hit that mark there, and then that's where you end. And then I could memorize the lines. And I started realizing I do that with stand-up. Like I could tell you my dates based on, I have them on a map in my head, so I know where they go in the map. And I was like, oh, I'm kind of like more of a like visual thinker when it comes to that. And so I could memorize lines super easy to the point where Mark Hamill said to me, I was like, oh, let's change it up. Let's do this. And Mark goes, hang on. He said, you got to remember, you have a really insane ability to memorize. And I went, I don't.
Right.
But I can memorize them. That was the craziest
and
thing.
he starts saying like old Luke Skywalker lines, like you're on the wrong set. How was that, man, to grow up and see Mark Hamill connected to Star Wars, and now you see this man standing in front of you?
It was insane. And he has all the good gossip. Like he tells you stories about making that movie and what they were doing, and you're just like sitting in the back like shut. Like the first thing he said to me was we were on the plane, and he said he was talking about the guy who played C-3PO, and I was like, wait,
oh yeah,
there was a guy in there?
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, what did you think? And I was like, I thought it was a robot. And he was like, it was 1977. You think we had the budget to make robots?
Right.
It wasn't like it is today where Elon Musk just makes robots. And I went, oh. And he goes, I'm going to blow your mind. There was a guy in R2-D2. I was like, there was a guy in R2-D2? He was like, you don't know a lot, do you? It was.
Were you a Star Wars fan?
Hardcore.
Oh wow.
But not like
not like Wacko over here.
Just like
shaking his head every time, like, yeah, a real Star Wars fan knew that, Bert. No.
Yeah. I was like a regular kid who idolized Star Wars, dressed up like Luke, wanted to be Luke. And then, and just a regular, and when it came out, when they did the reboot in like 2099 or whatever, 99, probably 2000, I went and saw it in the theaters first night. Like I'm a legit Star Wars fan. For Isla's birthday one year, we watched all the Star Warses in success, like in the right order. It was really cool. It took like a day and a half.
Damn.
But yeah, I'm just regular Star Wars. But the best is we had this lady on the set, Eva, who's from Croatia, and she goes, first night we're all going to dinner, and she goes, don't bring up Star Wars. I was like, what? She goes, I haven't seen it, so don't bring up in front of Mark. It would make me uncomfortable. I was like, okay.
Uh-oh.
And so she sits down, and I go, Mark, Eva's a huge Star Wars fan.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yes, I'm a big Star Wars fan. And I go, Eva, who's your favorite character in Star Wars? And
you laying in
and
on it.
and you can't say Mark.
Yeah, you laying in. Darth Vader. You just got to start saying things, Darth Vader.
She goes, Chewbacca?
Yeah.
And I go, yeah? I go, Mark, Eva does a great Chewbacca impression.
Oh.
I go, Eva, do your Chewbacca impression. It's so good. Do it. And she goes, hello, I am Chewbacca. It's good to meet you.
Sound just like Chewbacca, too.
We taught her D's nuts.
Oh.
We were like, yo, we did it to each other at something. She goes, what is that? And I said, it's a joke. It's like a joke we do in the States. It's like you say, hey, man, pass me D's. And they go, D's what? And you go, D's nuts.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, well, it's not funny. And I go, no, it is.
Yeah.
But you got to just, it's like, it's funny. It gets funnier.
I love that you totally like, no, it is.
Yeah.
No, it is, man.
It is. It's like, and she goes, I don't get it. And I go, it's funny. Do it to someone. They'll laugh when you do it. And so we're sitting in the tent, and Mark Hamill walks in. He's like 74 years old. And she goes, hey, Mark, pass me, watch out for D's. And he goes, D's what? She goes, D's nuts. And he goes, what is that? And she goes, I don't know. Right. And he goes, what are you doing? And she goes, it's a joke. And he goes, it's not funny. And she goes, I know, it's not funny.
Yeah. It is to us, though.
Yeah, it is
to us, man. Yeah. I remember the last time I saw Mark Hamill was over at the center. And, dude, he was just amazing.
Yeah.
And have you been over to the center? Have you ever performed
at the center?
The center of your ass? Oh, man.
You got me.
Thank you. And it's braided. Thank you. Thank you, Bert, for coming into the neighborhood once again, bro.
Brother, I love you. Thank you
love
so much
you too,
for
man.
letting me coming in and sharing your platform.
Hey, man, it's always a pleasure to have you in the neighborhood, bro. Your laugh, your energy, everything is so contagious.
Oh, thank you.
How can we not like you?
No,
man, I'm talking about Louis. Louis, how can you not like this guy?
I know.
How can you not like him? Yeah, man. And I don't think in my whole career.
Soft skin.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I heard that. Hey, man, do you make sure that you tan and you don't get tan lines on your body too? When like I'm going on tour, I got to make sure that my tan lines are.
That's a fantastic question.
Yes.
Before I shoot a special, I am hyper aware not to get any scratches on my stomach. or any scratches. Like I won't let the dogs jump on me because the dogs will scratch you, and then you have a big scratch across your stomach. I also make sure that my stomach hair, when right before I film a special, is lined up. Because if it's offline, it's distracting. I make sure my belt buckle's straight, and I also make sure that when I take my shirt off, that my necklace lands right back in the center. Because sometimes if it lands up here, you won't notice it, and then all anyone sees is that on stage when you're doing your special. And
there's a method to the mayhem.
And I tan evenly.
Really though?
Yeah. I tan. I go out and I tan evenly, not a ton. You don't want to be sunburned. I've done stand-up sunburn, and all people see is like, that must hurt. And I'm fat too, so if I go like this, and all of a sudden there's like a white line right there, and they're like, oh.
There is a method to the mayhem, bro.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, there's little things that you do where, because like I did a special one time, and it was a great show, but I had mustard on my pants.
Oh.
And I was like, who let me eat a hot dog before I was shooting a special? And Leanne's like, you insisted on hot dogs.
You know what I trip out for? And that's another way that I think I watch too closely. Like if I see a singer, right, and they hit like a high note or something, I see that they had like a colored drink, like a Gatorade or something red. I'm like, or when you see an artist and they have like deodorant under.
Deodorant. Like when do you remember when LL Cool J did "Mama Said Knock You Out"
he had the white puff? Yeah, man. It was like roll on.
Oh, really?
I'll shave my underarms before I shoot a special. I'll shave them clean.
I heard that.
Because then people they don't notice that, but they do notice hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that is crazy, man.
Yeah, I'm like hyper aware of little certain things, like that just I think stand out. And if you're not paying attention, like I'm really hyper aware of the soles I wear on stage, because soles, like if you wore a pair of white Air Force Ones, that's first of all, it's like an inch sole, and it's all white. So if you stand on a stage that is mirrored, as you walk around, it looks like you're on platform shoes, because you see the reflection of the sole, and as you step, it looks like your feet are talking.
Oh, shoot.
So I'm like so aware of just little things that would distract you. I try to eliminate all of them. And
do you see people in the audience?
Not really.
No, so you don't look at the audience as much?
You do a little bit, but not really. You try to connect with people laughing and hear their laughter and work that direction. But and then some people up front. But if you play up front, then your eye line's low. And if you're shooting, especially if you're shooting a special, or if you're in an arena, they're shooting it for you. Like there's a 4-camera setup, so you just kind of keep your eye line out and up. Like I'll sometimes ignore like the upper decks, and I feel bad, and then I won't notice until the end. And I'll be like, "Oh, there's people up there." So
well, that's what sellout shows is. Aside from the other guy that you were talking about earlier, that's not doing as well as you. Bert Kreischer, thank you so much for coming into the neighborhood, ladies and gentlemen. Bert Kreischer in the neighborhood once again. Big Boy's Neighborhood.